Welcome to the Fruiting Body Podcast, episode 5 with Hugo Hattingh. Hugo is a captain or a sailor, let's call him per se.
Offshore, yeah.
Offshore captain. We're going to dive a little bit into his life in Phuket, how he got here, what he was doing before, and what he's going to be doing. And he will be going to Taiwan, apparently. Let's talk a little bit about that. But first, let's plug some of our products. We are Fruiting Body. We are selling medicinal mushrooms, lion's mane, reishi, and all this fun capsule stuff that's going to make you feel better. We'll be launching that stuff in June, July. So without further ado, let's jump right into this podcast. Oh, by the way, I'm Brendan O'Neill. I always forget to say that. My videographer guy keeps busting my balls. So that's who I am. We're going to jump into it with Hugo Hattingh, and it's a little, we're going to keep this casual. Hugo's super fucking nervous, so let's tell him that and keep that on the camera. And I don't know why there's
so chilled out.
Yeah, there's no one in here. But yeah, so we're just going to kind of start and understand Hugo and what he's been doing and his story of how he got to Phuket. So I guess first we'll jump in and just ask, first, Hugo, thanks for coming. And
thanks,
can you just tell us a little bit about let's focus first on the background of sailing and how you got into that initially and again, how that all came together.
Okay, well, I started sailing at a very young age with my dad. Initially, I was actually flying. At the age of 13, I flew an introductory flight in a Cessna C-150. So I did... over 30, 40 hours in Cessnas, and I actually flew 4 different planes, and I was going to be a pilot, but my parents actually pushed me in that direction, but it was boring.
That was
boring
the initial plan.
Yeah.
Was getting
my
into
brother was the sailor, he's the older one.
Okay.
He was the sailor, but I went with, on the sailing trips and so on. It started at 11, actually, and then, I sort of moved away from that. I went to London right after high school. My dad was very disappointed with me. So
I
I moved to London and I started carrying furniture around.
Okay.
I moved furniture. I just needed a break here, and I got away.
That was because you didn't want to get into the sailing, and you kind of wanted.
I just needed to get away. I felt I felt pressured, and I was probably a bit spoiled as well.
Okay.
But to go that way, I think was a great move because it was tough in London. I lived in London there for a year and a half, and it was tough. Lost a lot of weight moving furniture and working in offices, moving their stuff around and
what age was that at when you so you left South Africa? So initially, you're from which city?
18
South Africa?
and 19, and then when I was halfway to say 19 and a half,
yeah,
I went back to South Africa and tried to live life there.
And which city was that in?
Are you talking about London?
In South Africa.
In South Africa is Paarl, Wellington,
okay.
and Paarl.
And where is that kind of location-wise?
It's 70 kilometers northeast of Cape Town.
Oh, okay.
It's beautiful.
Okay.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful valley. Very rugby-focused town.
Okay.
Extremely rugby crazy.
And is this something popular in that town or that area for flying and sailing? Is this kind of what a lot of people go into?
I used to fly at Saldanha in it's on the west coast. It's about 140 kilometers north of Cape Town on the west coast. There's a little town called Langebaan in Saldanha. It's a big lagoon that comes in from the Atlantic Ocean. Okay. And it's beautiful, but it was the fastest growing town in South Africa at that time. So it's a holiday town. Okay. So people go with many holiday homes. My dad had a beach house there, and it was great. But it was this is many years ago. Well, actually, just realized how old I am.
So I think we all did.
Yeah.
So enjoy. Let's have a drink of coffee and
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Good coffee.
Yeah. So you were initially you're getting into flying, and was that kind of your plan from a young age? Like that was your passion,
I was
your
into
idea?
helicopters. I loved helicopters. You know, these things. I had so many things that I was interested in, and my dad was just trying to sort of. I guess he was trying to tickle my imagination in a way that it's, you know, get Hugo interested in different things, give him the opportunities, you know, as any father would.
Yeah.
I had a great dad. So, I mean, my dad's still alive. He's a great dad. He's
How old is
amazing.
he now?
1954. So he's what?
I was like 60
67?
something. Yeah, it's not too old.
No, not too old. No, he's great. He's a big guy though. But yeah.
So he was pushing you in kind of into this flying stuff, and then we'll try to piece that part of the story together. So the transition from flying and then going to London. At which point, when does the sailing come into the picture, or getting into boats, let's say?
Well, it's actually, I had a friend, Nuan Carstens. He was a great friend of mine. He crossed the Atlantic, and then he said to me, "Hey, man, you should try this." And I had a few failed relationships with girls. And I was so lost in life, really, to be honest. I mean, I didn't know what I was going to do with my life.
And this is around 20, or when did you kind of feel
20,
this?
22, 23.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I went to the water and I sailed to Italy as well. I sailed to St. Vincent. I sailed to the Bahamas, Brazil, all of them from Cape Town. You know, different crossings, crossing the Atlantic Ocean.
And did you have proper training, like to get into that, or at this point, I'm assuming you're not a captain at this point.
No. So on the one trip we did, I had one of the captains was an instructor. Yep. So we did the whole course on the trip. So, you know, by the time I got my paperwork to be a captain, I actually had something like 40,000 miles. And then I left South Africa indefinitely. I moved to Miami. Well, not Miami, Fort Lauderdale, rather. Yeah.
Okay. And is that, for someone at that age, you're saying like, what, 22, 23-ish?
Yeah.
Is that, for someone to have 40,000 miles, is that kind of above and beyond expectations, or could that be
way above? Yeah.
Way above and beyond. And that was strictly from sailing to South Africa up into Europe, and what was the route you would take there? How were you going?
So from Cape Town, you use the currents. You wouldn't just go, when you get north, when you get to the equator, you in the southern hemisphere, you have anti-clockwise currents. So, you know, the ocean goes to the equator and then runs west.
Okay.
And so you would use these currents. So you'd go across, you'd go across from, say, Namibia, you go along the coast of South Africa and then go south.
Maybe we could, Talise, you want to pull that up? We can pull up the map, because I think this would be good just to kind of connect that part of the story. We can just show the listeners, all of our 10 viewers, how just to visualize it a bit more. Maybe you could probably just pull up, I don't know which map, like
Google Maps.
Maybe the captain knows better than me what map to pull up. I don't know.
Well, yeah, you can. Google Maps is probably the best, man.
Just Google Maps, and we can kind of. We can put that over. Okay, so don't show our location. I don't want people showing up here.
You're gonna have to go way over west.
West. All right, let's start. We're gonna start sailing virtually.
You can do the overlay as well. Do it realistic. Do the satellite.
Oh yeah, where's in the bottom right corner? No.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were talking about your first sailing experience from Cape Town and going up to Italy, and maybe you can zoom in later. Maybe zoom in a little bit, so we can kind of get an idea of that route, and let's talk about that journey a bit.
So from you'll go up along the coast, stay about 100 miles off the coast there in Africa from Cape Town.
Yep.
And then just in the middle of Namibia, or even more north, you'll turn and cross the Atlantic. See, there's St. Helena Ascension and Tristan da Cunha.
So that's where you're turning towards that?
Yeah, we usually pass very close to there. And that's it's just a rock that comes out of the ocean. Actually, Napoleon Bonaparte's grave is there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah. History. There we go. And that people live there or no?
Yeah.
Really?
It's a little island, and it's...
All right. So did you stop?
Yeah, of course. A few times, man.
What's going on there?
Incest and apples.
Incest and apples. I can imagine. Like, how many? There's like 20.
I should not say.
That's fine. I don't think anyone's watching it from there. But
yeah.
Which country owns that?
That's British.
Oh, it's
UK, yeah.
okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So, and what about when you're at those places, like on this trip, like what are you eating? You've brought food. You're fishing. How does that work?
Yeah, of course you bring food, but we fish, and South Africa has amazing ocean wildlife. I mean, we've one time left Cape Town where there was so much fish. We were fishing for less than an hour, and if we had too many, we threw back.
And what are you usually catching like along the way?
Oof. Tuna, wahoo, tuna, dorado, which is mahi-mahi or dolphin fish. We've had a shark on the line a few times, which is not good. But
Why is that? Why is it not good?
Well, we don't eat shark, first of all. And I don't like to cut the line. I mean, sometimes you have to. You know, I'm just going to be honest about that. We have cut the line before. You know, you don't want to be sitting with a 2-meter shark on deck.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm standing there in my underpants.
Is that just your preference? You don't eat it, or is it more ethical? Or
it's just preference as well. I've eaten shark before. I have by accident. But yeah, it's definitely not something I will. I mean, there's much better fish out there.
okay,
Yeah,
so just the taste itself, or something like that.
yeah. No, shark's good.
Oh.
I shouldn't say that. I should not say that. Just cut that out, please.
Yeah, that's it.
Mr. Videographer.
Don't worry, we're
Shark's
good.
good, but it's definitely not something I'll eat. No.
Is it restricted in South Africa?
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
Okay, so it's
an
illegal.
endangered species.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, I got you.
It's declared taboo.
That is the reason why. Okay, so we'll go back on this trip now. This would have been your first major trips, like as a sailor, going from Cape Town up to Italy. Yeah,
we went too close to Fortaleza.
And where?
You know where Fortaleza is, Mr. Brazil.
Fortaleza. So you're going almost all the way to South America.
You cross, you go all the way that way to use the currents, and then cross again over.
Ah, okay, and this is purely because you're sailing. Obviously, there's no motor.
Currents, mate. Winds and currents. You use the winds and currents. It's the best way to do it.
Do you have any the winds? The currents and winds never die. They're gonna get you there, right?
And then we went up. You know, you try and make a curve there, straight north from where the pointer is there, the mouse.
Okay.
So go north there, and then go across slowly. Go to Madeira. We stopped at Madeira actually.
Oh, Madeira in Portugal.
Yeah, we had an intense storm.
Yeah, because the waves.
Madeira's down here, Funchal, down to the right bottom, there.
Okay.
To the right there, Funchal. That's the city. Madeira.
And this is owned by Portugal.
It's Portuguese, yeah.
Portuguese. Okay, and then you're coming through there, and then you're entering through like the strait.
We actually stopped there for a few days, yeah, and then we went through the Straits of Gibraltar, yeah, and we had a it was intense midnights that we had going through there. I mean, the middle of the night we have these fishing nets. I mean, they have these fishing nets that the Spanish and the Portuguese use that costs millions of dollars that have cameras in them, and you know they have tracking devices. They know when they take the nets in, but you have these boats coming at you and they don't speak a word of English on the radio, and they're just yelling, and you got the flashing lights. Okay, we turn port, and then you turn starboard, and you don't know which way to go. It's just intense. And he yells at you when you turn port, then you turn starboard, and he yells at you when you turn starboard.
You're just trying to
turn
figure
around.
Are they're military or?
No. They're the fishing companies. There's millions of dollars, you know.
Oh, okay.
They don't joke around like the guys here in Southeast Asia or.
And here they're fishing right off this coast by Funchal.
Yeah. Oh well, further down we were closer to the Straits of Gibraltar. Yeah.
Okay.
Further up. Sorry.
Yeah. Further
up to Straits of Gibraltar. There, coming in there's just was insane amount of fishing boats. We had a blue whale swim right under the boat, coming through there. And I don't know if you guys know this, but the Mediterranean Ocean keeps flowing in, and it will forever keep flowing in because it actually evaporates faster than it can fill.
Oh, okay.
So the water keeps going in there forever.
That is interesting. And so this area, so you're entering in, and now you're entering the Mediterranean at this point.
Yeah.
At any point, do you get stopped by coast guards? Do you have to show passports? Is this ever an issue?
Mate, it's some of these countries are intense. Italy especially was intense. Your jets flying over you all the time. Because I mean, it's this. You can imagine how these refugees bother these countries. You know.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
don't know if you're smuggling.
They've got proper security in these coasts. I mean, I say they do, but I've seen some videos online of them sneaking in on the beach while people are tanning.
Yeah,
We stopped in Almeria. I called it
Um,
Elmira last time, Almeria. Down there in Spain. And then we went down to Algiers. And as we were coming up, I'm trying to remember the winds. There were very hectic winds coming down. What's that? Trapani. There was this in Sicily. I stopped in a place called not Almeria. It was, but it was on this coast. If you zoom in to the east side there, the west side rather. Go to the right there, Marsala. Yeah, exactly there. That's where we stopped, and they locked us up for like half an hour.
Here.
They locked you up.
No. To the right down, Sicily.
Oh, right down Sicily. Okay.
Yeah, there, down there.
Oh, okay.
Palermo, Trapani, if you zoom in, right there, zoom in, Marsala. We stopped there and I've actually got photos of that.
So why did they stop you? What was the reason?
Well, first of all, we had visas for them.
Yeah.
And they asked us to like tell them when these visas should be activated. But how do you tell people when you don't really know when you're going to arrive? So we were there, stopped there like 10 days before our Schengen visas were valid. You know, being South African, they call it the green mamba, the passport. It's shit.
Okay.
It's really shit.
Why the green mamba? What does that mean?
It's just a joke. It's a green color passport.
Okay.
And it just gets you in trouble, man. Because you can't go to countries, you know. Yeah. Even if it doesn't matter who you are. You can't go. You can't travel like Europeans can.
Guys, I'm going to go downstairs.
You got
delivery. I think it's the Rode mic.
Oh, okay. 1 sec. All right. We're still recording, yeah?
We're still recording.
Oh,
You can keep talking.
Yeah, it's probably just wide zoom.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. Okay, so you got into Italy. Now, what was the purpose of the trip? Why were you sailing there?
It was a brand new boat from the factory,
Yep.
Robertson Kane, that was going to Ancona.
Okay.
It's on the east coast of Italy, north.
So you're manufacturing this stuff in South Africa?
Yes.
And you have a boat yard? Do you have a manufacturer? How do you get the parts? How does that all
called
work?
Robertson Kane. They built these leopard yachts.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know they're really good at what they do. They're probably, I think, second or third largest catamaran producer in the world. I'm not sure. I'm speaking under correction, but yeah, they've got beautiful yachts. There's many of them in Phuket. Leopard yachts, many.
And what you're bringing out there is a yacht or a sailboat?
It's a sailboat, but it's a yacht. You know, yacht is actually a sailboat.
Okay, but there's not like let's say there's not an engine on it.
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's very rare nowadays that you have a sailboat that doesn't have an engine.
Okay.
That's then you're talking about something really small, like only 1 or 2 people can get on there.
So when you take the journey that way, almost all the way over to South America, and because you are riding the currents and the winds, but in terms of like the geography, the quickest trip would not just be following the coast all the way up, or why is that? Why would that not be true?
Current is king.
Okay,
That's just a saying, and it's a fact.
and would that mainly be because you'd be fighting the current along those coasts, and it's much
you would go
burning through gas, going
You'd
slow.
be burning through gas. You'd have bad winds. I mean, it all depends on the wind as well, I'd say. I mean, if the current's only doing 1 knot or between 1 and 2 knots, you're still okay if the wind is good. But if it's a bigger gamble to actually go into a place where you don't know if the wind is good at all. You know, you just go with the current. It's best.
Okay.
It's always the best way. I mean, obviously you're gonna have like here in Southeast Asia, you have all these islands. So you have currents and you have tides, and for 6 hours it could go that way, and 6 hours it goes the other way, or let's say 4 hours this way, and then 4 hours of nothing, and then 4 hours the other way.
And when you're planning these trips and you're about to go out, when you are planning those trips, how much planning goes into that before you set sail? Like, are you doing it for a couple weeks, or are you kind of just reading it, 12 hours before and making decisions?
That's another thing is you have to look at there's so many things you look at. You look at the time of the year. The nice thing about nowadays is you have stuff online that you can just go and look at currents. You look at the you have 2 seasons in the ocean usually. It's the 6 months of this way, 6 months of that way. So you can use that as well. But it's at the end of the day, you charge by the mile. So you charge by the mile or you charge by the day. You find out what the boat's capabilities are, how fast it goes. Then obviously, is it seaworthy? You look at the safety systems on board. You look at all the PFDs, the EPIRB, all those things if they're serviceable. And if it's good to go, you go. But I mean, you fill the boat with fuel and take some extra fuel and make sure everything is good. You've got spares for the engines. You got it's a million different things you have to look at, but also then the ability of your own crew. But over time now, I've done over 200,000 miles, so. It's a considerable amount, but I've gotten to this point where I don't really even rely on my crew anymore, but I try and get the best out of them in such a way that I wouldn't take anything personally, but I would put them in their place. Okay. If someone's being like sort of a metaphorical anchor on the boat, you know what I mean? Like breaking this whole thing. It's going slower because of your dirty habits or stuff like that.
You're sinking the ship, literally.
Yeah. Then I just kick him off. I don't talk a lot about it. Yeah. I literally will stop in a marina and just say, listen, mate, pack your bags and get the fuck off the boat.
Really? And this could be anywhere. They just have to figure, and they have to, at that point, they have to find their own way home?
Definitely. I mean, especially when someone's been extremely difficult, then it costs me money and time.
And has that happened in the past?
It has. But it's mostly I've had great crew. I mean, it's 95% of the time it's been excellent crew.
Okay, so when was the time when this happened? Like maybe we can get into the details.
What, a bad crew?
Yeah, bad crew.
Mate, I've had crew who lied to me beforehand. They would tell me that they, for instance, sailed around the world. Okay, so I'll be like, okay, that's great. This is a good one, because if he spent a year sailing around the world, he knows the ins and outs. And then on the way, I would realize like the first 2 days that he doesn't even know how to pull up the main. Hoist the main, and it's like, you don't know what you're doing. Do you know what this line does? Do you know what that line does? Do you know what the main sheet is? It's very small, simple things that you figure it out, and then I realize, okay, this guy just lied his way onto my boat, and he wants me to pay him, but he doesn't know what he's doing. So during the trip, I would find out that he was actually cleaning the toilets on a bigger yacht.
He wasn't. He sailed. He didn't say he wasn't cleaning the toilets.
No, he didn't say that. He just, but in detail, he told me that he sailed a boat and this and that, and he owns a sailboat. But he owns a sailboat that he bought from another country, and he never saw it or was on it even. A very small sailboat that he bought in some other country, and it's. I guess if this person ever looks at this, he would probably. He knows
exactly who you're talking about.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, how do they have the balls or the confidence to kind of come to you and jump? You're going to set sail into the ocean and go on this epic journey or wherever you're taking the boat, but they have no idea what the fuck they're doing. How do they have the confidence to do that?
Well, I don't know. I guess people put a lot of trust in me. Then really, I'm also a kind person. It's one of my downfalls is being too kind as well. But I don't like to talk a lot when it comes to sorting people out nowadays.
No.
Just say it like it is in the end and not talk about it and then not look over my shoulder again. But other than this, it's always been great, man. It's been great. It's the last trip I did was from the last trip I did I sailed the last trip I did was from Maldives to Sri Lanka and back, and I've done that trip more than 20 times.
And for what purpose are you doing that trip? Are you just you're bringing boats over for sale, or?
So vessels also are like human beings. They also have like a visa almost. You get a 6-month permit to have this vessel in this country. Now, for you to be able to stay in the country, you just have to leave, clear out, check in another country, and then clear out there and come back and check in again. Then you get another 6 months. Every country is different. Some countries will only give you 3 months. I don't know if there's a country that gives you a month, but some countries only give you 3 months, 6 months, or a year. And in Thailand, for instance, now I think you can get a 2-year permit to bring your boat in.
For the boat?
Yeah, because it's a different flag.
Mm-hmm.
So these boats that are in Maldives are French flagged, and they're working boats as well. You know, they changed the laws recently as well. They didn't want any boats there, any foreign flagged boats. But if they passed that law, that no foreign flagged boats were allowed to work, it would have brought, you know, so much trouble to these companies, because there was many foreign flagged boats there, many foreign investors that parked their boats there and gave work to the locals. There's a boat, use it. You take a part of the money, you take a percentage, and just pay me this much for using my boat.
But what is the business model behind that? What is the reason that you're sailing from Sri Lanka to Maldives? You're bringing people on a trip?
No. I literally just check the boat out from Maldives.
Yep.
Go to Sri Lanka, check in, check out.
Just for pleasure?
No. I'm doing a visa run for the boat.
Ah, okay, interesting.
So I fly from here, I go to Maldives, and I've done this, you know, I don't know the number. It's like 24, 25 times that I've checked into Sri Lanka. Actually, Maldives is the one country that I've checked in and out of the most, I think.
So you're doing it for other people's boats?
Yeah.
Okay, now I understand. Okay.
Yeah, they call me and they say, listen,
gotcha.
I need a boat to be checked in and out.
And that would be the quickest connection, Sri Lanka, Maldives at that point, right?
Yeah.
And now if it's in Sri Lanka, wouldn't it be quicker kind of just to go up to, let's say, India? Or
the boats are in Maldives.
Gotcha, okay.
So I go from Maldives to Sri Lanka and back to Maldives.
Easy.
And then I fly back home again.
Oh, okay.
But usually there's 4 boats, so I do that 8 times a year. Every 6 months.
And you have a big crew. How many people are out there?
No, just me and one guy.
Just you and one guy?
Just me and one guy, Maldivian. It's usually they have the 620, 62-foot catamarans and the 60-foot Catlante, which is actually a 57-foot, but yeah.
And how long would that typically take? Let's just say from Maldives to Sri Lanka, how long is that trip?
Depending on the time of the year.
Yeah.
It can take anything from 40 hours up to 90 hours, really. It depends on the time of the year. You have winds going this way.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have, 4 days of bashing 30 knots in, beating into the wind, which is just shit.
And with such a small crew, it's just you and one other guy, and let's say you're doing 90 hours. How does that work with sleep?
Just me and another guy, we do 6 hours, 6 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
And these guys, when you're finding them in Maldives, it's someone that you've worked with before? Because I mean, for you to put the trust in someone to go to bed and say, all right, yeah, you sail for 6 hours.
Oh no. I've got a system that I use actually. I do alarms. I'd put my alarm on so I can actually go and check every hour what he's doing and can I trust him. I've had some crazy experiences as well with other crew in the Maldives as well. People, they would sit on the back deck and stare backwards and look at the back of the boat. Just sit like this. Sails are up. Boat's going that way, and they would just sit there and stare at the back, and he would be eating the betel nut. This funky, this Asian thing that they eat.
It's basically a ephedrine.
Yeah. They eat that and then they get a little bit of high.
Yeah.
Nothing matters then,
They're just staring off into space. Meanwhile, you got like a giant tanker coming straight at you. Yeah,
exactly. It's my point. We've actually had in the middle of the night, we had a submarine one time. And at that time, it was the middle of the night. And I freaked out. I was screaming because this thing went under the water with its lights on. But huge, not small. It came out and it was an Indian submarine. It came right next to us out of the water. And then it went down into the water. And I screamed at my one crew. Shahim, he was a great guy. Shahim was a good crew. But yeah, that was trippy seeing that,
Yeah, I mean, were they just kind of giving you a scare and coming to check you out, or?
I don't know what they were doing at all, man. It's military, It's very. I mean, obviously leaving the lights on, they must have known that I'm just. They know everything. The technology they have on these boats nowadays. They can hear anything on your boat. They can.
And did they try to contact you, or?
No, not at all. No. The minute you start picking at the small things of the country. Oh, the way they drive. For instance, the way they drive here in Thailand is insane. I mean, it's just insanity. You can't change those small things either because it does change the country. Anything that you change has a snowball effect.
Yeah, and I used to live in China. So I
Yeah.
lived there for 6 years. And honestly, after living there 6 years, like nothing can go wrong anywhere I live in the rest of the world. There's no, just, it's impossible. There's no way. So I'm fine. I've never had a problem here. The driving here is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, in China, what they used to do is like, have you been to China before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shanghai.
Like, Shanghai. Okay. Well, I was in Shenzhen, and like when you're on the highway, the Chinese, like if they miss an exit, they don't take the next exit. They back up on the highway.
Oh fuck yeah! I saw that. Oh, it's insane.
It's insane. And it's not that it's like you don't care because you're like, well, I'm in the fast lane and you're flying by them.
Yeah.
But it's like they're in the slow lane or the shoulder backing up.
Yeah.
And I know what it is. It's because they got some sort of GPS talking to them.
Yeah.
Like you've passed it. Anyways, we were talking about your journey into Italy. Now at this point, you get stopped by the police.
And not Almada, it's Marsala.
Marsala,
Yeah, Marsala.
And it's all right.
So
We for us we can see it, but we don't have to show it later. So
Yeah, no,
well,
that's
what
fine.
happened? You're delivering a yacht.
A yacht from Robertson Cane Leopard Yachts in Cape Town to Ancona, which is actually close to, is it Venice? It's on in the coast there, on the east coast there. But yeah, it's a beautiful city. Lots of super yachts there. I mean, there is a super yacht factory there actually, but there's a big marina there where they rent out these yachts. So they bought this yacht and we just delivered it to them.
And the size of this yacht, it was 62 feet, or is that
No.
you were mentioning?
These are recent boats that I'm talking about. The 62 feet. But back then, that was a small little boat, man. It was a 40-foot or something. I'm not even sure.
Shit.
Yeah, 40-foot catamaran.
So how is that like when you're sailing like through it's the Atlantic?
Yeah.
Right. And, I mean, some of the swells you must be going through are insane.
fuck
With a
yeah.
40-foot boat, I mean, how big are some of these swells getting upwards? Like 3 meter, 4 meter.
Leaving Cape Town in May, for instance, was the biggest swell I ever had. It was over 60-foot swell. I mean, you have swell that's insane.
Is it capping?
Depending on the wind, yeah. Depending on the wind. Yeah, Cape Town can be a really unforgiving place in the ocean. It's definitely not for the faint-hearted. It's a good place to train to sail.
Okay.
I mean, I fell asleep when I was, 13 in the bow of my dad's boat, going from Cape Town to Longabon,
Yeah.
like 140 kilometers. That's about, 80 miles or something. And I fell asleep in the bow. And after that, I've never been seasick, ever. I mean, I can't get seasick. It's pretty difficult to get me
Maybe you
seasick.
calibrated yourself that day.
Yeah. Or I lost something in there, you know.
The equilibrium, it just completely spun out of whack.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, because I can't. I don't get seasick, but I get seasick if I lose the horizon. Like if I can't, if I'm on the boat, I'm fine. The second when it starts to dip under the horizon, then I get seasick.
Oh, man. If I was in the Philippines, that's how I ended up here. I was stuck in the Philippines. I just realized my son's name is there, Aiden.
Hey. Aydin.
Yeah.
Oh.
But so I was in the Philippines. That's how I ended up here in 2012. But I was stuck on this boat for 6 weeks there and waiting for an alternator for the engine. And there was some bad weather. And I slept on this boat that was just rocking for 6 weeks. And then eventually I had to go back to Manila because we were in the north in the Pangasinan province. And we had to go back, me and Leander, who's my best mate. We had to go back to Manila to collect some cash. And we stayed in this hotel in Manila. You know, it's very much like China, actually, but it's just the way they operate. There's this hotel called Soho Hotel, and the rooms in the middle of the building don't have any windows. So you're literally in a room that's inside the building, but there's no windows. You can't see outside. So at nighttime, you know, we started drinking a few beers. We had our cash. We were ready to go back. We were waiting for the bus. So the bus is coming the next day, and then it was cancelled, and then we had to wait another day. And we were drinking, obviously.
Yeah.
But here in the middle of the night, because we were on a boat for 6 weeks, everything started.
The room felt like it was moving.
And yeah, that was hilarious because in the middle of the night, I just wake up and everything is moving, and I'm Lee's passed out in the corner. I'm just moving. I'm trying to look for the toilet, and maybe you should cut this out. But yeah,
No, that's fine.
I just leaned
fine.
against the wall, man.
So is it how long will that feeling last after you've come off the boat?
2 days.
2 days.
2-3 days, yeah.
Just trying to find your equilibrium there.
I actually, what's funny is this is the longest I've been on land in like 13 years.
Okay.
Now with COVID. And now I went out on the boat the other day just for like 4 hours. Just went out for 4 hours, and I came back to land, and we were at Hugo Hub. We were just relaxing there, and I had like one beer, and the whole planet was moving again. And I got up. I was like, "Why is this place shaking like this?"
You can feel it. Do you consider yourself then? You're not a land lover.
Absolutely not. No.
Maybe that's you need to get back out to sea and
Oh yeah.
and we were discussing before. It's a good segue for that. You're planning to sail out to Taiwan, yeah? Or is that still happening?
So no, it's not. That's why when you said it, I was like, okay.
Ah, okay.
Taiwan just had a huge breakout
Of the C
Let's say
word.
first the C word, yeah.
Of the C word.
They
Okay.
just had a breakout. They denied our
Oh,
entries.
shit.
We had all the paperwork there, and it was literally, I think if we were 24 hours earlier,
Yeah.
we would have been able to get our entries.
So they bought a yacht from Phuket, and you're planning to sail it out there.
Yeah, yeah.
And so how does that work? Like, what are the next steps? This person just cancels their order, or?
No. The boat, there's definitely his boat. You can't just cancel something like that,
Because you've built it from scratch.
So what has happened here is this is a vessel that a friend of mine has bought in another country and refurbished everything on board and made it new. So we're supposed to deliver this to the new owner. It's a beautiful boat. But yeah, so we were supposed to deliver this boat, take it there, and then fly back and obviously do our quarantine there and quarantine in Bangkok and so on. But with COVID and so on, it's all cancelled. It's
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. I was confused when you were telling me maybe a couple of weeks ago that you're planning to take the yacht to Taiwan, and I was wondering, how the hell do you get back? I mean, because if not, then you're quarantine there.
That's all included in my costs. I charge them for that.
But I mean, it's the time. I mean, you're talking what, 2 weeks to sail there, let's say, maybe?
It's it's about 2,200 miles, maybe even more. I mean, it's really you're not gonna sail there in a straight line.
No,
that's a mistake. I still make till this day. You sail there and using the winds and obviously trying to avoid obstacles and so on. But that'll take about You're sort of right there. You're spot on 16, 17 days.
Okay, but then the quarantine would probably in Taiwan be 2 weeks, and then another 2 weeks there. So you're talking about...
It was 7 days.
Oh, 7. Okay, so
on the boat,
not too bad. And
with
then a
tests.
quarantine over here.
Yeah.
But pretty much you're away from your family about a month and a half, just to get that boat
spot
over
on.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for that, when how does that process work from the point in which someone decides they want to buy a yacht, they contact yourself, they contact a company, whatever, and can you kind of explain that process of how that works?
Okay, so when someone's interested in a boat, obviously there's many questions that go into that. When someone's buying and they want it, they usually just go for it. You have people who take years. I've known of people who've taken over a decade to decide on which boat to buy. I mean, because it's a serious buy. You're buying something that's sort of a money pit.
Yeah, you're losing money on this thing.
I shouldn't say that out loud,
No,
'cause
but
this is my industry.
I think everybody knows that. I mean, if you can afford to buy, let's say, $1 million yacht, you can, and it's going to cost you 5% a year to keep that thing afloat. If money's your concern, you shouldn't be buying a boat.
No. Definitely not. If you can sit here and burn $100 note, you can buy a boat. But watch it burn, like literally.
So if I burn that there, I still can't.
Don't care. Don't even blink. Then you can buy a boat, no problem.
Okay, so back to the process. Someone contacts you, whether it's through your network or by referrals, or even let's say a company website. Can you walk us kind of through the initial contact, right to the point of prior to sailing, and that process?
Okay, so there's so many dynamics to it. I mean, what does a person want? Does he want luxury? Does he want is it sail? Is it power? And then obviously the small little you have these small little picky things that people want, like they want a barbecue on the back, or they don't want wood on the deck, or they don't want leather. They don't want leather.
The details of the yacht
all
itself.
The details have to be discussed, and it's more than a home, really. I mean, because there's a lot more detail to it. Electronics. Do you want a water maker on board? Do you want what size engines do you want? Then you're talking about power again.
And how that must be quite difficult, especially. I would assume most of the people buying a boat, when you present those questions, they don't even know how to answer them.
No.
Right? And they just they kind of probably do a little bit of research, but you're probably coming back to them with 100 questions they never even thought of.
I've met, I was with another company recently, and we were building the interior of a boat, and there wasn't even that much choices, but the way they handled it was pretty it was intense. It was a very, very the carpet color. Yeah. Then I went to the color of the interior.
This is the company side or the buyer?
The buyer.
Okay.
It wasn't really the buyer. It was their boat. We were just refurbishing the interior.
Okay.
And it became really tedious. It became intensely tedious. Very simple things was, out there they made something very simple very hard.
And is that going to cost them more money in terms of consultation hours, or is there kind of a set fee when they jump into it up front? Because obviously they jump on a phone call with you 50 times. You're talking 50 hours of just discussions of details. How does the charging, the business model work behind that?
The consulting is usually free.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to charge someone just to chat to them. Unless there's any services rendered, then it's fine. I'm not a lawyer, so, and that was also not my part in the company. I was literally a carpenter. I was working, cutting and measuring all day. It wasn't easy dealing with them, but for me it was sort of fun. I enjoyed it, but it was a tedious process, like I said.
Yeah.
They wanted this color, and then when it eventually came, they were upset with this. But it was their choice.
Yeah, I mean,
still a choice they made.
Are they choosing like Pantone colors to that level, like that level of extent?
Yeah, it was like going yellow with gray.
Yeah,
you can imagine what that looks like.
And then if you're dealing with someone that's colorblind, I can't.
Oh God, they're gonna watch this now and go, "Oh, you guys talking about us?"
Trust me, don't worry, nobody's watching this. It's like we got. This is pretty much just family and friends right now, but. So that process you go through, and then how long can it take for them to make a decision for, let's say, go to, we'll call it mass production or to production? That's it.
Yeah, there we go. Just some coffee. Thank you, sir.
We can do whatever we want here. It's fine. So they're going to So that process you do the detailing, they make the decisions, and then they sign off and they move ahead. Let's say on a drawing and the detail itself. What's the next step?
Deposit.
Okay. Oh, pay me.
Exactly, man.
Pay me. All right.
I don't want to be doing work and then they go, "Oh no, I don't like it anymore. See you later."
Yeah. No. Okay. So all that work prior to that point, it's. That consultation, you're not charging anything.
None whatsoever.
And what percentage of buyers kind of fizzle out during that process? Would you say 60%?
No, more. 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10 just fizzle out, which is normal in any business.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's very frustrating, but that's also why when you have confidence in your product, then you just go for it. You don't really care. You don't care about those 9.
Do you continue to go for those? Do you continue to go for those 9, or with your experience now, can you pretty much tell from the beginning someone that's going to fizzle out before?
I don't feel like I should be chasing people at all. They should be chasing me. Sorry, I don't want to make it sound. But
No, I know that is the
bring
business.
a product there. That's you take it or you leave it. You know, and you're going to have a choice at the end of the day. You have your time, and it speaks for itself. So I'm not going to run after people and try and sell something. We don't even advertise at the moment at all. None whatsoever. They come to us, and we're overrun with work at the moment,
Which is fine. It's probably coming from referrals. They see your work, they see the craftsmanship,
yeah.
and they go,
Yeah.
It's simple. They see their friend's boat. Where the fuck did you get that? And Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, I mean, it's also, I'm moving into a new side of things, which I can't mention on here yet, but I'm going to be taking over a big yard, and there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. But you know, this is something that I made a wish board a few years ago.
What's your top wish? What's the number one goal?
Boat building and classic muscle. Cars.
With your cars. Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah. So it's weird how the wishboard works, man. It's just insane.
And this is your
It's taken less than 5 years for that to come true.
And for this side, you're saying you weren't a land lover, but I mean, with that type of, let's say, wishbowl and that work, it's going to make you be a land lover real quick.
No, listen,
right?
we've got boats in front of the beach bar right now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's beach bar there. The chill spot.
The Hugo Hub.
Hugo Hub. Yeah.
Quick plug to Hugo Hub. Don't worry, we'll talk about that later.
But yeah, no, it's very chill. I mean, the water is changing a bit now. It's becoming choppy, so we don't have a boat now. We just took it out the other day, but I've got a little dinghy there in front with a 30 horsepower, which we just will give to people to go out fishing and surfing, and you know.
I saw you guys ripping. You're doing some wakeboarding. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Magnus was on here the other day.
Oh yeah.
He was telling us about that.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, Magnus had fun, and he's good at it. He's really good at it.
Yeah, he's getting really good. I was watching a couple of his videos, and he goes up to the
doing a
wake
backflip.
park. Yeah, I think when he first started, I think he was just like he was explaining, getting off the ramp, and now he's like doing backflips, 360s.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
It's funny how the news spread. Hey, did you see Magnus did a backflip off the ramp?
I always have this thought that when you're a professional athlete, you can do anything.
Yeah.
These guys, like, give Magnus a baseball bat and go put him in the park, and he's gonna hit dingers.
Yeah.
Like it's just that ability when you're at that level.
I'm a professional athlete, but in the pub.
In the pub. Yeah. Lots of curls. So we were talking about the process of the boat. So they come to you, and then when you're starting the production, are you starting from scratch? Are you getting involved in restoration? Like when someone's buying a yacht from you, how does that work from the beginning of the production itself?
You see, at the moment, I just came from so many deliveries. I mean, I delivered over 80 yachts now in the past over a decade. Now it's COVID. And I used to be a master carpenter. I used to be a great carpenter. Now I'm just like sort of there's nothing else to do. I can't go back to the ocean, so I have to make my other skills work on land, you know. And one of them is having fun, and the other one is doing carpentry. And you know, I can do technical work. I'm good with my hands. So I have to try and make those things work, and it's not easy, but it's I've actually slid into this so easily, and I feel like this is my time to shine. It's also I'm at the right age, right? I'm the same age as you, 35, so I got to make this work, man.
Yeah, that's all right. We're still young. 35 is the new 15.
No. It is really that's the time. I think overall, universally, 35 is the age to really go for it.
It's like they say 35 is you find 30 to 40, you find your way, 40 to 50, you make your money, and then hopefully by 50 you're retired. Right. And in the 20s, they're a fucking blur.
Yeah.
So we're good. We got 5 more years to get it together. It's fine now. And if COVID takes us out, then all the better. I'm joking.
So after this, we're gonna go have beers, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'll join you guys.
No, coffees.
Coffees.
Yeah, lots of coffees.
There's no harm. Beer, it's okay. You know?
Yeah, beer's fine.
Yeah.
But so, we could give an analogy behind that, and this could be the coffee talking.
I'm way too comfortable. I'm almost scared.
That, you know,
is not
as
good.
human evolution has, we've evolved from, let's say, water mammals and into, you know, walking bipedal human beings. Could that be applied to yourself now? In which you've went from the sea and now you're kind of coming back to the land and evolving into the carpentry side.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, it's. I guess I like the way you say it because I was scared in the beginning.
Yeah.
When I realized COVID's happening, I was like, what the hell am I going to do? I stayed off Facebook, for instance, while lockdown was last year in March. I just stayed off Facebook and these social media things because I realized that it's sort of social media is not always a good thing. It's bad to be on there the whole time. You'll even feel your happiness go down. You know, you feel less happy being
More
on
anxious.
social. Yes.
Yeah, you feel more anxious.
Looking at other people's photos all the time. And that's why when I'm on social media, I read things. I look at happy things. I don't look at other people's crap. I rather, you know, no offense to everybody, but yeah.
Yeah. all you clout chasers out there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and it's, you know, people take photos of themselves all day. So I don't do that at all. I'm just, maybe it's because I'm not that pretty, but
Hey, you're fine. You're fine.
simple.
So, and I think that's a good segue into what came out of, let's say, COVID or the C word. We're always afraid to say it because we don't know how YouTube's algorithm works. But anyways, they might mean there's not gonna be the army showing up at the door, but they might not rank the video, and we're clout chasers by heart. But I'm joking.
Yeah.
But so from COVID and now you're coming back on land and getting involved in the carpentry, you decided to open up Hugo Hub, which was originally located up in Lyon. So could you...
Hugo Hut. It's still there.
Hugo Hut. Now we're at Hugo Hub. But Hugo Hut, could you just explain that a little bit more in detail to... Maybe that's more for the listeners in Phuket of how that all came about and how you put that together.
Okay, so me and my wife made a wish board, both of us, a few years ago. What was it, 2016, 2017? We made a wish board, both of us. And one of hers was a beautiful spot on the beach with a sort of a vibrant setting where she can do events. Mm-hmm. Because she was an events manager and she worked for Luxury Events Phuket, which was a great company. And you know, she's really good at what she does. And this was her idea. I initially said no. But then when it started, I was like, okay, this is going somewhere great. I like this. Let's put up a sailboat sail and make a little roof. And then we went for that. And then we just started hanging out there. I mean, we cut all the grass down there. There was a big cobra there one day as well that we chased away, and it went across the road. We didn't kill it, hopefully. Hopefully no one did. But yeah, and the neighbors at Paul Restaurant and at Beach 2 were like staring at us.
At that time, I was living at Lyon. It was kind of our getaway.
Yeah.
We had no place to go.
For the Hugo Hut.
Hugo Hut.
I was the first one there. I said this is going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah. I was me and my friends was one of the first two. We were hanging out there. It was an amazing spot you guys found.
Yeah. It was beautiful, man. And it's still there.
Did it just kind of snowball? Like to me, it seemed like it was. I don't want to put it down and say it was a hobby, but it was more just like you started it, and then more ideas came, and it grew.
Yeah,
it exploded.
There were many ideas thrown around. I said to Carter that if we go for this, we have to go for this, you know, because I can't sail then. I mean, it's the C word.
Yeah.
So we went for it, and people like the one day people just walked up to us and like just sat down, and we had a cooler there, and Carter was like, "Okay, you want a beer?" And this happened, and that happened, and it just totally snowballed. We had a birthday there. It was like 40 people
Yep.
There was supposed to be 10, and 40 people arrived. And obviously people were just so excited to get out of the damn house.
Yeah.
Just to go somewhere, and they found this spot.
And when did you guys open? Which month was that?
So we got the land in May. This is a hectic story, actually, but yeah. You like this?
Yeah, we love it. No, I don't know how much you can tell about it, but that's fine.
Yeah, man, it's just dealing. It's politically incorrect, also. So let's maybe steer clear from that.
We got the land and everything went well.
Yeah.
Let's keep it at that.
Yeah. But so then where was I now?
Talking about initially how you guys got started and how it snowballed in that process.
And we signed a deal for 3 years, paid up front for 1 year, and then we just started.
Yeah,
Got the little caravan that was at my house the whole time. The Kauta my wife bought while I was in Cuba. 2 years ago, I was in Cuba. I brought a boat from Cuba to Phuket. So I was in Cuba, and Kauta just sent me this picture. She said, I bought a caravan. I said, for what? She said, it's a little food truck, like a little thing that we're going to sell stuff on the beaches. We can travel through Thailand and have some fun, And it sounds a bit crazy, but I mean, that's badass. I like that. It's a great idea. Just go hook it onto the truck and drive and go and sell beers.
Yeah, you don't have to be so stagnant or static.
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
be dynamic and do whatever you want.
Yeah. So when she sent me the picture, I knew, okay, well, and then she called it Hugo Hut. And what's funny is that on my birthday last year, she sat down at nighttime. We were sitting there, and everyone was on the beach, and we were all like shit-faced. And she said to me, do you know that I called it Hugo Hut because it was actually supposed to be Hugo Hat, like a short for your last name, but Kautas, I mean, it's an age-old thing with Thais, right? Their spelling is excellent.
They just messed up the A and the U.
Yeah, but then it works because it's a hut, hut meaning warm feeling. And
actually, hat wouldn't make any sense. I think it would have failed immediately, the whole place. You go hat.
That's what I said to her. Exactly what I said. The first thing I was like, "What? You go hat?" So glad you made that mistake. But yeah, also the reason she called it Hugo Hut was because before I left for Cuba, I said to her, with the laws in Thailand and everything, I'm working my ass off. I'm just throwing money at things when I'm sailing offshore, and every 90% of the cash I just bring back and give to her. Obviously, she's paying for the things that I own as well, but it's all in her name for business reasons, and also I can't own land here.
Yeah.
But I have to pay for the house and so on. And I said to it makes me feel a little bit, like I'm just in the back of the bus here and paying for these things. And Kauta, she's an amazing woman. She pays for everything else. But still, I do feel that I need something that I can hold on to.
Yeah, you don't have control.
Yes, exactly. And then I left and I flew to Cuba, and then she put my name on this little caravan, and then obviously she put my name on that.
Yeah.
Because she said... on my birthday, she told me, because you said you've got nothing in your name. And I said, well, my name's on there, but it's still not in my name.
That's great. Now it's just the face. You're just a face.
Yeah, I'm just a party animal,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so
that's how
it
started, but it's...
And then it kind of, I think it just grew, like, there's not much of a story behind it.
It's
other
unpretentious.
Than, it just kept growing and growing. And I think a lot of people were looking to not escape, but have a change from the beach club scene of your catches and your Cafe Del Mars, and have something that it felt more authentic.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
unpretentious. It wasn't like I didn't have to try and take photos of myself in a fake corner or anything.
No.
In fact, I was picking up cigarette butts and plastic, and when we cleaned that land, it took us so long because there was so much plastic stuck under. We actually one time saw a piece of linen sticking out, and I lifted it, and it was like board shorts from 1980s or something. And it was just stuck in the ground.
Well, that's probably a lot of it is just from the ocean. That's just kind of.
I think there was something else there. If you go on Google Maps,
okay,
there's a structure there. Because there's a big piece of cement under the sand at one point that we put the sand on top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there was definitely a structure there a while back.
So, and this could be, who knows, 20 years ago.
Yeah, probably more.
Yeah. Wow. And that's
Yeah,
interesting because that part of, especially that part of Phuket on the island, we'll call it northern Bangtao Lian. I mean, it's even today it's still undeveloped essentially. Like it's not much going on.
It's
as you start to go down that road. It looks like they're developing more now on the main strip, but I mean, even 5 years ago that was empty.
Yeah. I mean, Paul Restaurant has been there for so long. Yeah. Initially, we weren't getting along. In the beginning, we weren't getting along, but then he realized we were bringing more clients, and I was trying to be nice. You know, the funny thing is that they create this barrier between themselves. Like that piece of land, Beach 2 and Paul, they weren't even talking to each other. But we got everyone together there. Actually, started working as a community.
Yeah, they get a bit too competitive, let's say.
It backfired in their face, their rudeness.
Yeah, but I think that's not just it's not a problem in Thailand. I think the whole world is like that as well.
Yeah, but it's also, we just kept being nice.
Yeah,
that's all we did.
So you fought them with love.
Yeah, mate, kill them with kindness.
Kill them with kindness. That's the word. I'm horrible at saying, so I make up my own.
Yeah.
And then, so you were there for almost a year.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to talk about too much about what happened, or if you're allowed to.
No. It's very simple, mate. It's weather. It's weather. We changed. We looked for other land for weather. We're going back to. We'll have 2 places in November.
No,
Hugo
but I mean,
Hugo Hut's going to reopen.
You'll go. So you'll still own that. You'll still go back there.
Yeah.
Already
signed.
Okay, I thought that was kind of a dead deal.
No, we're definitely going back there in November.
Okay, well, shout out, because the word around Phuket is not that. Everyone thought something happened.
No. BS.
Oh, BS, guys. You heard it from the horse's mouth. Fucking BS.
Yeah, no, we're definitely going back. We're gonna do little ski trips and so on. Get people on the skis and so on. Hopefully, the C word is done.
Yeah, hopefully. I think so. I heard from a little birdie that July is okay. We'll kind of have a segue into the birth of Hugo Hub. So you had Hugo Hut, and then recently, I would say about two months, but I would guess the past 3 months. Like probably it took you about a month to build the thing, and kind of just explain Hugo Hut, how that was born, and where did the
Hugo Hub.
Yeah. Where did the idea come from?
Well, Kalta, she decided to get a place under a roof, and get the right paperwork and so on. We won't go talk too much about the other paperwork.
Yeah.
Get a restaurant license and all those things, and then get a few restaurants in on the place as well to give people more opportunity as well, and also draw in more people. But it was her family came down and helped, and they were amazing at what they did. Kalta was working her ass off to get the place ready. I was down in our pool marina the whole time, while they were getting the place ready. So shout out to them. Actually, they're amazing at what they did there.
That was her family that came down.
Yeah, okay. Family, uncle, dad, mom, everyone helped. It was amazing. It was really a team effort from them. So I can't take any credit for that.
No,
I just go
just
there.
The name.
I just sample the liquid lunch there. That's all. Yeah, but no, they did an amazing job, and it's a cool hangout. Trying to get some artists in there. I mean, literal artist drawings.
Yeah, I saw you had some people in there kind of helping out with painting the walls and.
Yes, exactly. Pete, Guy's girl, Lily, Letitia, and then who else was down there actually? Oof.
I saw you had a few people on the IG.
Oh yeah, and then Nathan as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean it's beautiful. It's a good spot. Obviously, it's still a work in progress, but now we want to do a little slipway there for boats as well. Just as financial things are at the moment, we have to wait a little while before that's going to happen.
What do you mean by a slipway for boats?
We want to make it possible for boats to go launch there. You know, speedboats, smaller boats, shallower.
So
boats,
if you have a Sea-Doo, you could launch off there.
oh hell yeah,
Yeah, because I used to have a Sea-Doo anyways.
yeah.
But we would back in the truck around that area. I couldn't remember this 3-4 years ago. I think it was actually beside your place.
Yeah.
And we would kind of back it in and drop it off there and take off there. But
A Manpuri spot, yeah, probably. Yeah,
I think it was literally the shop beside you to the left.
it's a Manpuri.
Okay, so we would drop off there and come through. And I wouldn't say it wasn't that it wasn't allowed. You just did it.
Yeah,
You're just like, hey, I'm backing in. And the guys were like, all right, come on in. And
yeah.
drop it off.
Yeah.
So from the business side, how would where would they drop off if they were to bring in like a Sea-Doo or a small boat? How are they going to enter? It would be to the left side of the Hugo Hub, or how
You
would
go
they
straight through, mate.
They're going to go right through the restaurant.
Right through the restaurant, yeah. I just picked it up yesterday, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I picked up the other speedboat that was in there. I reversed in all the way. We had a few boys helping us pull up the trailer into the water. I can't just yet reverse all the way into the ocean there because there's a spot where it drops too much and the rain is making it, a little bit of a donga. What do you call it when it erodes the ground out in such a way that
it's like mud.
Yes.
Okay.
It's also muddy and rocky and it's a bit
yeah, because how far can you get the truck back in there without
it's
getting
risky.
stuck? Yeah,
it's risky. And then also just in between that the silty part of the ocean there where you walk in because it's a very minerally part of the river runs in there, right? So you have a lot of silt, and there's a spot there where it's really soft and you can just sink in. So I don't want to go down that far, but we want to cast some concrete and then make it possible for people to launch their boats, and we're also going to store the boats there. So
okay,
yeah, we have storage in the back. We're starting a bed and breakfast. It's still in the phase of being.
Yeah, I mean that's it's a good idea, especially like when we had the Sea-Doo, it was too much of a hassle to the process of getting your Sea-Doo out.
Yeah.
Because okay, the Sea-Doo's at the home. Okay, loaded up on the trailer. Okay, now we got to drive it to Bangtao. Oh, now it's a nightmare because the roads are so small. How the fuck do I back this thing in there? Then it could take you an hour before you're even on the road, and we lived in Bangtao.
Yeah.
Right. So no, if you're able to,
crap.
if you're able to
provide a service for
provide
people.
a service for people, let's say to leave their Sea-Doos there, hop on them and take off.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Exactly. Yeah. So the bed and breakfast on the other side of the road that we're starting now is it's a working space as well. We have PO boxes they're going to provide for companies that are they don't want to have a whole office.
Like a virtual office.
Virtual office, exactly. And we're going to have PO boxes there as well. And if stuff needs to be sent there, we'll have their own little lockers and so on.
Mm-hmm.
But also the storage for the boats. But we need a few more boats before we actually sign off on that. So I want to get the word out on that.
Yeah, all right. I don't know which camera we look at. Maybe all of them at once. But
bring your boats.
Bring your boats. First step, pay me. Second step, then we'll build a launching pad. All right? No, and I get it. You get enough clients and enough people committed, and then
I want to know if it's going to work. I mean,
So anyway,
I actually do think it will work because in the past the locals were not going to. I don't think it's politically incorrect, but the locals were very, very
hesitant,
aggressive.
Oh.
Is that wrong?
Meaning like they didn't want you to open up the shop or
No. The water's there. These boys, they call themselves the mafia when they're just a bunch of cowboys.
Yeah, but they've been there for how many years, right?
I get it, but
it's kind of like you get territorial, right? Let's say like you have
it's not going to get us anywhere. It's not going to get them anywhere by the way they're approaching it.
So working with them, it's
much better.
It's better now. It wasn't such a challenge.
Oh no, it's much better now. It's amazing. It's great. They, I've been friends with them for so many years. The first people I befriended in Thailand was the lifeguards in Surin Beach.
Yes,
and they're an amazing gang. The other day we were on the speedboat doing the wakeboarding with Magnus.
Yeah.
And then this jet ski came from the side with a guy on the back, and I thought, oh God, here it comes. This is now the first altercation with us. And then it's, with Taya, my friend. He goes, hey, Hugo, what's happening? And we had a quick word. He was like, no, he just got a phone call from someone. Their engine died a few miles in the ocean, so he's going to go and help them. But yeah, it's good, the connections that I've made over the few years that I've been here and how we help each other. I guess, it comes back to the thing with killing with kindness.
Yep.
It helps.
Yeah, and
it helps to
I
know
think
right people as well.
I think I think Bangtao's it's not that competitive for tourism, I find, because the hotels kind of take care of themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not like, let's say, a Kata or a Korong or a Patong in terms of let's call it the jet ski mafia, whatever.
Yeah.
But you don't. I always find Bangtao, you don't get that competitive, aggressive jet ski, sales vibe there. Like, I don't think they would really be stepping on your toes too much.
No, but they do feel like they have to stamp it in there. And maybe something that helped a lot was my classic car when I parked it there.
They like that.
They were immediately, wow.
So
But,
what are you driving? What is this car?
it's a 67 Pontiac Beaumont.
Okay, and how did you import it or?
No. I bought that in Suratani. I mean, the locals in Thailand don't know what that is. They sort of just go for the extreme, flashy, Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
They put their money on that. When I did some research the same day, it took me 5 hours to decide when I was there looking at the car. I went online. I actually immediately joined 2 groups, and I was in a part in a farmland in Suratani where there wasn't good reception on the phone. So I was like holding my phone like this, joining a group like this. I need reception, please accept me for the group. And it was called Acadians and Beaumonts and, Canadian classics. And so I went on and I asked them, listen, I sent photos immediately. Took a while to load, but it did. And then within an hour of me posting that, I said, yep, I'm buying it. Because the people just told me it's such a rare car.
So you bought it in Suratani?
Yeah.
Off a Farang or a Thai?
Thai.
Oh, okay. And where did he get it from? What was the story behind it?
He found it from an old farmer in a shed. It's just amazing the condition it is in.
And he restored it, or it managed to stay?
They semi-restored it. I restored it fully now, but I'm still busy. It's back in the garage now. We're doing the shocks at the moment, steering, and I'm doing some performance parts to the engine, doing it a cam.
Is it all original, like original engine? Or?
Original engine, original interior from 1967.
My God.
It's insane.
So the question is, there's got to be an interesting story behind that. Let's say from the farmer, where did this come from?
I have no idea.
It's import, obviously. So
no idea. Crazy. It's built in Oshawa plant.
Oshawa.
Yeah, Oshawa.
That's Oshawa. That's Canada.
Yeah.
That's like 5 minutes from my house. Oh no, sorry, it's about an hour and a half from my house.
Yeah.
Oshawa.
Yeah. It's Canadian. It's a Canadian Chevelle.
Maybe that's what brought us together today. This is it.
It's an hour and a half away, brother.
Yeah, just to allow you to pronounce Oshawa correctly. And that was it. All right, we're good, and we're done. No.
I thought that was
Oshawa. Yeah, it's
Oshawa
is like I think they still do car manufacturing. It's actually just outside of Toronto, maybe like 20-30 minutes.
Okay, wow. Okay.
So the 67, and that can allow us to jump into the next side hustle, because you've got so many going on. I mean, Hugo the Hustler, Hattingh.
Hugo the Hustler.
Here we go.
Hunter's Hearst Helmsley.
Yeah. Triple H, baby. I like that WWF.
Oh, that's funny.
WWF reference. Yeah, I will not say WWE. They're not having
That's
it.
such bullshit. WWF.
Yeah, WWF.
Smoke
Come on,
it.
that's it. So we got Triple H on the podcast today. You're getting into car restoration, and So what's going on with that exactly?
Oh, we got an amazing team at the moment as well. So yeah, we've got Nello, who is an engine wizard. I mean, he builds these big blocks from America, the 454s, and he does the Mirror Cruiser engines for the boats, and then the V8s for the cars. I've got a straight six on this car, unfortunately, but fortunately, I don't care. I think I'm a purist in that way that not really a purist. I actually like swaps, but when it comes to something that's old, I don't want to put a Toyota V8 in there. I'm
going to keep it authentic.
Yeah, it's only a 3.8 liter straight six, but it's still a Chevy engine. It's still a Pontiac engine,
Yeah.
And Nilo is the wizard there. Then we've got a metal shaper, and then obviously me, the guy. I feel that I've got the eye. Don't show them this though.
Yeah.
I've got the eye for the cars.
You're the mad scientist behind it all.
Yeah, I feel that I've got a little bit of a formula going there.
You told me again a couple of weeks ago you have this baby, this restoration job that you're trying to get behind. So what is that all about? Because maybe we can plug that a bit. If anyone's listening, contact Hugo. He's got something for you. Let's find out.
Oh, mate, there's a few things. Okay, so we found a frame in Bangkok. I can't talk about that too much because that's sort of now.
Yeah.
If I say too many things, let's just say
let's build up the hype a little.
Yeah. If I say too much about it, then it's going to go somewhere. Then there's the Mercury, and there's something else that we found, but there is a lot of potential in Thailand. I do feel as a Westerner or a foreigner in Thailand that we sort of know, they have their own ways of doing. They set in their ways, the Thai people, and it's great that they have that, but I feel as foreigners we also have our own market that we go for.
Yeah.
Hot rod wise, we've our metal shaper, for instance, is from France, and he's amazing at what he does with his hands. He can shape metal and he can do whatever he wants to. He works for the Total for the gas companies in the US, and he welds pipelines, and I mean he's good at.
And this will be your team. You got the right people in the right place.
I've got an amazing team at the moment going. And then with the boat building and so on, it's considerable. I feel very lucky.
So it's a lot of hands-on work. So let's jump way back to kind of the beginning of the podcast. I mean, you started off as a pilot. When did this hands-on work, carpentry, skill set kind of come into play?
South Africa, it was mandatory to do carpentry in school.
Okay.
And it became so intense that your last piece in high school would be a piece of furniture, but it had to be real art.
What was your piece of furniture?
It was actually a psychologist chair.
Maybe this is all tying together. All right. There's some hidden message in that.
Beautiful though. It was beautiful.
Okay. And then that was kind of your first taste of carpentry. And then how did that kind of expand from there or snowball again from there?
It was, when I was in London, I did the furniture movals, and then I started, carrying doors for another company, and I came back, I started hanging doors, and then I came back to South Africa, and I kept doing that, and building small little things. I mean, very simple things, but you have to think outside the box. You just think of what you want and think of how you're going to create that. Anything.
Yeah. And
I mean, think outside the box. Think of design, put plaster a few things together or glue a few things together, epoxy a few things together, and then cut it at a funny angle and use that as a top or... nowadays, I haven't been doing this for many years, so I started doing this again, and it's creative. I'm learning, and I think the nice thing is that I feel almost in a permanent way that I'm always behind, but that makes me suck in so much more, and I keep sucking in. I tell myself you will never stop learning. It's the first thing that you learn when you go to the ocean. So, I mean, the most wisest sailors have always told me, you never stop learning.
I don't think you know everything.
But then I meet these sailors sometimes. I would walk into a pub, for instance, and meet a guy that's 50 years old. He's done 50,000 miles. And I would be like, wow. Very, very sarcastic, sarcasm, the
Yeah.
lowest form of wit. But yeah, then I would say that to the guy, wow, you've done 50,000 miles. That's amazing, bro, fist bump. And I wouldn't even waste my time telling him that I've done over 200,000 miles. I mean, I was like, what? You have closed your mind to learning more because you're so cocky. And witnessing that just makes me more open. It just makes me more think, hey, you keep learning, man. I mean, I still learn.
Yeah, I mean
I
that's
don't know everything. I've just got a bunch of miles. It doesn't mean that I'm the best sailor in the world at all. It does mean I've spent a shit ton of time on the ocean, you know. But
And what was your most sailing on the ocean? What was your most like intense, maybe scariest moments in which you may have feared for your life? It's all right.
maybe cut that out. Yeah.
That's all right. No, we're rolling. It's all right. Quick.
Now we
fade.
got him.
You just gotta clap. Yeah.
But okay. So my most intense moment, I was in the newspapers a few times. I was sailing north of Papua New Guinea. That was a guy fell off my boat. I found him after 2 hours. It was about 400 miles north of Papua New Guinea. That was
Quite
2000.
casual how you sling a guy fell off my boat. I fell into. What do you mean? You
He fell off the boat. I was trying to sleep downstairs, but I just sailed through a storm the previous night, and I was with two inexperienced sailors bringing a boat from Singapore to New Zealand. And I had a choice to go north of Australia, go through the Torres Straits, or go north of Papua New Guinea. And to go north of Papua New Guinea, I had to go through the Sulu Sea, which is the unknown. It's the deadliest place for pirates, actually. People talk about Ethiopia. That's nothing. Sulu Sea and the Celebi Sea is like, it's intense, man.
This is up by Papua New Guinea.
South of Philippines.
Oh, I know what you're talking. Yeah, of course. It's the whole Philippines. that area between the Philippines and Indonesia.
Yes.
Yes, yes. If you live here, you know about this.
Yeah, it's very dangerous there. So you have military, but the military even tell you that you must report and that the other boats shouldn't contact other boats. And I once sailed back from Tahiti years ago. I don't want to change the subject now, but I once sailed back and I asked for help because I had gangrene in my leg, severe septicemia.
Shit.
And it started smelling as well on the boat, and they didn't even answer. This was a year before that. But anyway, so we went through the Sulu Sea, and then I had one of the crew was very inexperienced. We were at Morotai.
So you're coming from Singapore. And you're trying to get New Zealand. So you've sailed north, and you're coming around.
Yes, because I didn't want to go. I didn't want to waste just the engines. I mean, we've got one engine. It's a monohull.
You didn't want to just go kind of south, past northern Australia and then down?
Called the Torres Strait, yeah.
Why is that?
That winds were head on.
Gotcha. Okay.
Head on. And those winds there, when you get through that one part there, the winds just change. It's not nice. But you also have spots where there's dead wind, so you still have to motor the whole time. So you have a choice of motoring all the time, or you go north and take the chance. And I did make the best decision. Then we left Morotai, Irian Jaya the one day, and we just got some diesel there and a little bit of extra food, some fresh food, And I went through a storm that night. It was an intense storm. My crew was inexperienced, so I was sailing alone for 12 hours. And it was just too much for me. I was tired the next day, and it was like we were coming out of this curtain of dark cloud going into this blue sky, beautiful. The ocean wasn't rough anymore.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, guys, I'm tired. I've done a 12-hour shift. And sailing alone for 12 hours it's really tiring. It's very fatiguing.
Your brain must be operating like pretty
Overtime.
much like you're in fourth, fifth gear all the time.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's really insane. It's so fatiguing. But what's funny is that even when I go to bed, I would think that I'm just going to pass out, but I don't because my heart rate and everything is just on overdrive.
You've been going so
I can't
fast.
sleep. So what I did is I put on earphones. And I made a rule in the beginning, no earphones when you're inside the boat. But I told my crew, I said, don't put the sails up, just motor, And before we even left Singapore, I made a rule that no one's off the back of the boat unless there's someone there. If you want to collect a water bucket, then you yell and say that I'm getting some water into the bucket. And this kid was young. He was 20 or 19 years old. And he went off the back, and I was inside with earphones on with the laptop on, and I'm right next to the engine. Because I can't hear the laptop. I'm just trying to calm down. Just forget about that I've just sailed through this big storm. And then it happened. He went off the back, and I'll tell you this from my point of view rather. He went off the back.
Pause for suspense.
He went off the back, and so I'll tell you from my point of view rather.
Yeah.
I didn't wake up. I couldn't sleep, but it was like 30 minutes later. And I was like, fuck, what's going on? Nothing's happened. But maybe, say 45 minutes after he fell off, I found out that he was gone. But I ran around on the deck.
But nobody else knew.
No, I've got two crew there. The other one's sleeping in the bow.
Yeah.
And so I ran around on the deck inside and stuff, and I was yelling, "Hey, Erastus, where are you?" The guy's name. I was like yelling, and then I got to a point where I said, "If I fucking find you, I'm going to kill you. You know, are you hiding in the sailbag? Are you hiding in a locker somewhere?" And no answer. So then I went off the back and I looked and I saw his hat and his glasses lying there.
Well, you're lucky to even find that to give you the alarm.
Yeah. Then I woke up my other crew. I mean, I woke him up way before actually, but he was, he turned around immediately, and then I called on the sat phone. I actually called my father, and I said to him, I lost the crew. I said I lost the crew.
Yeah.
And it was like midnight in South Africa. Obviously my dad's like 2 a.m. or whatever, and he's like waking up, and he goes, "Oh my God," you go, "Do your calculations," because I'm really good at maths. So I just started doing calculations. I turned around immediately. I always leave my track on, so it basically leaves
your trail,
a line, trail,
like hitting a golf ball on TV.
Yeah. Really?
Well, it's gonna leave a little trail.
Yeah.
There we go.
You can call it a trail. Yeah.
There we go.
It shows where I've sailed before, and I went back on that, and then I had to figure out how long. When did he fall off? Do you know the fact that I found this guy is fucking insanely amazing? It's
nearly impossible.
It's the ocean's a big place, man.
Yeah,
it's a fucking big place, and it was if it wasn't for birds as well. I mean, even the birds were so far away. Like you just see a little dot of birds.
Why birds?
Because they fly and wait for this
guy to die.
To die, yeah.
And then
and then other fish will come, and it just creates.
Which point did he fall off specifically? Where?
See, the thing is, and this is something I haven't told many people. He didn't fall off. He jumped in after the bucket. He tried to get water off the back.
Yeah.
And the bucket broke, but the previous day he lost the fishing line.
Okay.
And he lost the spanner. And I was yelling at him the previous day. I was giving him some yell. So obviously when he lost the bucket, but I mean, he was really idiotic.
Maybe he's tired, he's not thinking, and
he was idiotic to jump in. He jumped in and started yelling.
Thinking, yeah.
But at the same time, I feel sort of in a certain sense, that it was my responsibility. So I do take full responsibility, but luckily the guy's alive.
Yeah, but also
it could have been different
in that line of business, right? I mean, this stuff can happen. I mean,
it's not. I feel it's one of those things, that's really, really.
And I think if you've sailed as many
miles in
life,
and luckily I found him, I went this way.
Yeah, but as many miles, let's say just do the math, and if you are saying you're mathematical based on statistics, the amount of miles that you've sailed, some shit should have happened that should have been horrific. Because I'm sure, I'm sure if you sailed 1 million miles, something is going to happen. It's inevitable, right?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
You think that this can be completely avoided, or based on
fuck yeah.
based on X amount of miles as an algorithm equals something?
It depends on who you are, I guess. I do know of captains. I mean, I had a captain working for me a while back, and he just totally fucked up. It was just insane. Yeah, I've got a rule: when you sail, you don't drink.
Yep.
And he loved his drink. So
Yeah, because you need to be on high alert the entire time.
yeah.
There's no way you can.
No,
be
it gets spiritual and slow out there. You know, days feel like weeks, weeks feel like months.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, how many days have I been here? It's only a week. Fuck, it feels like half a year, man.
Well, your brain's running at full speed the entire time, and
Yeah.
it's not like, in Phuket where our brains aren't running that well.
Yeah. What day is it? You don't really care.
You don't care.
What year is it?
You forget. 2020. I'm still writing 2022 sometimes.
Yeah.
So, and this kid you found, where was he from?
South Africa.
He was from South Africa.
And he moved to my hometown
Okay.
a year before that. It's funny because...
The connection, yeah. But sorry, maybe I missed that part. But specifically, where in the ocean? On that strait in the Philippines?
North of Irian Jaya.
Okay.
North of Irian Jaya, it's like there's a place called Helen's Reef, and you can check that. I was very close to that. I mean, these are places that no one on the planet sees. I've seen some fucked up places. Oh, well, cool places, but like
they're in the middle.
It's in the middle of nowhere.
Like even on a map to find
It's just
it
a
would
reef.
be, yeah.
In the middle of the ocean, in the middle of nowhere. There's like a station there where the station, and there's 19 people on the island.
Yeah.
You can imagine.
Well, there's a lot of places like that, even up, let's say,
Apples and incest.
Apples and incest. Sounds like you're selling it. I'm on a route. But there's these places, they're like nomadic, let's say. Up in north of Khao, north of the Somalian Islands, the Surin Islands.
Yeah.
When you get way out there, I mean, these
yeah.
people, they're Thai without passports. Have you been out? You're familiar with that area? Have you been out there?
Actually, that's an area that I haven't sailed to yet. No.
Yeah, I went out there a couple of years ago. You just drive all the way up to one of the ports, and then you take a speedboat. It's about an hour, and
we had business opportunities.
yeah,
offered to
there's
us there,
people. They're Thai. They don't look Andaman, like they don't look Indian. They look Thai.
Yeah.
But they're nomadic. Like there's no passport. They live on the island. They fish.
Yeah.
And that's like even the tourists coming, they kind of sell trinkets, but there's no tourism. Like it's mostly Thai tourism. So when you arrive on the island, they don't push it on you.
Yeah.
They're not like buy. They're just with their kid in the hut, and if you buy, you buy. But they're able to survive on their own because they're just eating out of the sea all day.
Yeah.
So
no, they're fine.
Yeah, they're fine. They've been doing it for probably 500-600 years. Who knows?
Probably more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, thousands of years, because if you read the book from Colin McKay, who's a good friend of mine, it's the history of Thailand is pretty interesting. It's, you get these sea gypsies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now they're starting to get kicked off, like off PP and around there because of the whole. Is it an issue with the bird's nest industry?
An issue with the bird's nest, but they litter a lot. It's more than that, really. It's there's issues with the locals, and if you read that book, really it gives you an idea of their mindset.
Because do they consider themselves Thai? These sea gypsies? Does it explain that in the book, or?
I don't think they consider themselves anything really other than a sea gypsy.
Other than a sea gypsy. But you don't really.
I don't know. I can't say because I honestly don't know. I do feel that their past is extremely dangerous. Like the Alunan pirates from the Sulu Sea, they were very, very careless pirates. They didn't care. They were just
savages.
Yes.
Savages
out there.
Yeah, I know. I've heard about that, especially because there's a good surf spot in the south of the Philippines. I forget the name of it. It's called Seven. I can't remember the name of this. There's a very famous surf spot in the very south of the Philippines, one of the islands there. And then it's the Muslim area. Yeah, great coffee.
Great coffee.
And then off that part between that island, Or maybe, can you go over to it? Oh, we got the map here. Go to the Philippines. Go to this. I know exactly where you're talking about. What is that surf spot called?
Mentawai.
No, keep going. We're in Bhutan. Down
there, yeah.
down there. Davao. It's in Davao. It's
Just to the right, actually.
it's that whole area, General Santos and
See that
Davao.
Sulu, that's on the left there.
That's Sulu.
Yeah.
Yeah, this part, because then there's that kind of, I don't know if you'd call it
Davao, yeah.
channel, but it's between there to the Philippines. Or sorry, there to Indonesia. And this is famous for pirates. Yeah. Something else.
But yeah, check Helen's Reef. Helen's Reef is
Helen's Reef. Where's that? Let's see that.
Zoom straight into the middle, a little bit to the right. Right, to the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, in there. Go straight in.
Dive in.
Straight in. Wait, down.
Okay. Yeah. So
Some of
Wait,
this.
down. To the right. Actually, if you put that in there, it should show you.
Should almost be there.
Oh, yeah.
Helen.
Wait, it's because
Yeah, there's so many
it's hard to see on the screen. You know?
So many islands out there. I mean, Palau, have you been out there?
No, but close.
Close.
Yeah.
Interesting. I've been to every
What is the name
country in Southeast Asia. Pretty much.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I've been to North Korea. I've been everywhere. I've been
Yeah.
to I went to East Timor.
Yeah, I went to
well?
East Timor as well
Yeah.
recently, yeah.
Yeah, I was in so we flew in I went to this was 3 years ago. Fly to
Huge
They speak-
massacre there.
They speak Portuguese. in
Portuguese there. The food is amazing there.
there.
Yeah.
East Timor.
Yeah?
I flew into Dili, and I stayed there 3 or 4 days. But it's Portuguese, not Brazilian Portuguese, but Portuguese. But the portions are like stupid.
Yeah.
Like one portion is for two. Everything like the bacalhau. You should know this one.
What are we looking at?
The type of fish there.
Bacalhau.
Ah, there it is.
Bacalhau.
There it
Yes,
is.
bacalhau is the famous Portuguese
Yeah.
fish. Yeah.
Everything's salty, but it's good. Good
Yeah.
place.
What are we looking at here? What's the name?
Helen's Reef, it doesn't matter really. I mean, if you guys want to look at it, go for it. But
Yeah.
it's
Helen's-
where the guy fell off.
Okay, so you went back out. It took
Oh,
how long
okay.
did it take you to find him?
About an hour.
I mean, come on, that's pretty good. I mean,
Yeah, it's not bad.
There you go.
and what
That's where it is.
you can't. It doesn't even show.
Look at it.
Yeah, it's a reef.
It's just ocean. That's where he fell off.
And that's definitely not.
No,
where he
that's
fell off.
definitely not it.
That's another Helen's Reef.
That's
That's
another-
another
Okay,
Helen's Reef.
so-
yeah.
When you found him, what was his reaction? Like, did he have a near death experience?
Bro, even though because
How
I mean,
long he was there?
I was sad while trying to find him, but I was just too focused. And then when I found him, I was yelling at him.
Yeah, I mean, the emotion came out, right?
I was like, I hope you're fucking feeling shit right now. You know, but
Yeah,
I was yelling at him, and I just told him, "Are you okay, buddy?" You know, when he came on board and he started crying, and I said, "Dude, do you know what fucking just happened?" And I probably said it 3 times. I said, "Do you fucking know
yeah.
what just happened?" And he was crying, and he said, "I saw the mast going over the horizon, and I trapped the air in the bucket, and I just sat on it. And I kept looking down for fish." And he sat there for 2 hours, bro.
Fuck. And are there sharks in that area or?
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah. It's a very dangerous area, actually. You know, but sharks it's not natural prey, human beings.
No.
No, definitely not. I mean,
And that's by the sheer size of
I
our
feel
body.
he's one of the luckiest people on the planet.
This guy, and you still talk to him.
But can I say this is a bad thing? I'm not a religious person.
Okay.
And he is. His dad's a pastor. And on
Yeah,
the
right.
front page in South Africa, front page of the newspaper, they said Jesus saved him.
Oh fuck.
So even the old Springbok captain, John de Villiers, was fishing with my brother, and they went out one day, and he said, apparently, I don't know if this is even true, but my brother was like, yeah, my friends at the work say, Hugo, your brother is Jesus. Because I was on the front page and it said, Jesus saves.
Oh my God.
And it just, I was like, fuck, this is the worst person to say that about.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I wasn't praying.
Yeah.
I was just calculating.
And then this guy, I'm assuming he's never been back on your boat.
No.
No.
Funny enough, after that, we also had a little bit of a massacre, which isn't a massacre. We had a boat problem. He sailed with me from Seychelles because, he was a good crew. But he did something really stupid that day. And I give people second chances, definitely. He flew back to South Africa after that. In New Zealand, the owners heard about it. Everyone, the whole fucking world knew about it. The Reuters.com, and it was just a little bit of an overkill, really. But he flew back, and the owner of the boat was so happy to have his boat, and they were very, very happy, and the condition of the boat was excellent. It was better than I found it in, and they flew him back with a bucket in his hand. He was holding the bucket at the airport, going the bucket that saved my life.
Oh my God.
The bucket that took my life and saved.
Yeah, but I mean, even without that bucket, I mean, he would be able. He could have been fine either way. Like at least to survive for I don't know, 3-4
down,
hours.
I guess.
Yeah.
On your back.
And what time of day was it? Like was it daytime you were able to find them? Or?
It was 10 a.m.
Okay,
11.
so at nighttime it's a different story.
He would have been fucked.
Yeah, there's no way.
Pardon my language, but he would have been totally, totally screwed.
Yeah.
I would have stopped. What I would have done at night time is I would have sailed back where I guessed where he fell off, and I would have just switched the engines off and floated. And then it was up to him to swim to us then. Because, I mean, the mast is tall enough to see for 40 miles, 50 miles.
And you wouldn't be able to hear anything out there?
No, not really even.
Why is that? Is it just...
Not on that boat.
No.
No. It's not even close. At like sea level.
What about those guns? They have those guns.
Flare guns.
Flare guns.
Yeah.
Like,
He didn't have one on him. So.
No, but I mean,
if you're shooting
when you think about a shooting one, when you get closer to him, if it was at night.
If it was at night, definitely.
If it was at night, yeah.
I would probably have shot one. If it was at night time, and you can calculate how fast a person can swim, let's say a person swims at 1.5 knots or 2 knots.
Yeah.
And if I would have gotten close enough back there and just stopped, then I would have shot the gun. I would have done that as well.
And hope for the best.
And hope to at least try to hear him.
And just swim to the boat, man. I would have switched on all the bloody lights, make sure that he sees us. But yeah, that's a weird thought.
That's your most intense story, and not so much in terms of like maybe sea intense, but just in general.
I've sailed through a cyclone. I've sailed through a typhoon. I mean, I recently just sailed through a cyclone north of Australia down there. Literally down right.
And how do you react? There's a lot of other people out there. Like, should you be sailing, or like what is you never get the feeling of capsizing or anything like this?
The thing is, in places like the Caribbean, and also in down there, right there, but Arafura Sea, what they say there, it was intense.
Arafura Sea.
Yeah, right there.
Papua New Guinea.
Right there where that is. I was in Saumlaki there. Yamdena there. I stopped there.
And again, at this point, you're delivering yachts.
It's beautiful.
This is your main.
Delivering. I brought a boat from Cuba to Phuket.
Have you ever said no based on maybe danger or like just in terms of like there's issues on the sea and you're just like, no, I'm not doing it this time?
Honestly, no.
Say yes to everything.
It's not that. It's more the fact that I'm at the moment. I think I'm at a level with catamarans and sailing boats that it's good enough for me. But some people, I just offer it to them and they say no. You get what you pay for, mate. You're going to pay for a captain that's inexperienced. You're going to get yourself screwed in the end. But you know, for instance, it all depends on the condition of the boat as well. I mean, I've never had someone come to me and they give me a piece of shit to sail.
Yeah, and you're not gonna.
Yeah, I wouldn't even entertain that. Someone has never come to me and said to me, "Hey, can you deliver this boat?" And then I look at it and go, it's never happened. Yeah.
You show that sign, I show this one. Oh, finito.
Sheesh, we're really good at that. So I'm just getting comfortable, guys.
So, in this industry that you're in, are there a lot of people similar to yourself that are also delivering boats, or is it a smaller industry where where everyone knows each other?
I feel like when it comes to delivering yachts, the South African boys are extremely good. I'll literally say that out loud and proud. The South African boys are, because you don't sail from Cape Town and then when you go from Cape Town and you've sailed a few times from Cape Town, you actually you feel like, you know, when you go to other countries where the waves are big, then you feel like it's small.
Yeah,
you know, because Cape Town's just, and then, you know, the Southern Ocean is not a sort of place where you play around.
You grow up in the
shit. You
shit
need to know what
anyways.
the fuck you know. You need to know what the fuck you're doing. It's not a Mickey Mouse crap anymore.
Yeah, you're starting off at a certain level.
Yes,
from
where other people start at a level and they go to Cape Town and they sort of go, "What the fuck am I doing?"
Yeah,
you know, I went from that level to other countries and I go, "Oh, this is such nice weather today." But my best friend from high school, Nuan, is now doing his MCA rating, and he's delivering military vessels. So he took recently a boat from Vietnam to Nigeria, and then there's he just finished another delivery actually from Cape Town to the Caribbean as well, but doing the Seaward.
Yeah.
It's made life difficult, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, mostly because of the quarantines, and you just can't go. People are just kind of waiting it out now, right?
Yes, so things cost more. Deliveries cost almost double now.
Yeah, so then people they decide no.
Anything under the 2,000 miles costs double. If it's over that, it's only a percentage of your cost. You know, but yeah, and I'm talking about nautical miles, meaning 1.2 American miles, so to speak.
So, we'll wrap this up soon because I'm getting thirsty. But
yeah, me too. But thanks, man. Do you know there's still a lot to talk about? Actually?
Yeah, I know.
That's
the thing. We'll bring Hugo back. Maybe we'll bring Magnus on. Maybe we'll let Magnus and
less coffee next.
Let's see if
put both to sit together, maybe.
Yeah, we'll bring him on. See if we'll practice. See how strong Hugo is, if he can handle a leg kick from Magnus.
Jesus Christ, bro.
But so kind of to wrap it up, what's next for you? Let's say in the next 6 months, what are your plans? What do you see yourself doing? Maybe on the restoration side of cars, boats, and also with Hugo Hub.
Yeah, so sorry, I'm intruding there. We're doing the yachts and revamping yachts and refurbishing yachts, and we're building as well. Technical side of boats, engines. There's anything to do with boats and cars at the moment is.
And
us.
How could people contact you directly? Would it just be your Instagram? Should we say to keep it simple?
Facebook, Hugo Hattingh, Instagram, email.
We'll put it there.
Yeah. Email is hattinghugo@gmail.com.
You're gonna get flooded now by our 8 viewers.
Yeah. Woo.
Yeah. Okay. We'll put that down. So
way too comfortable now.
Yeah. We'll put your email and your Facebook down, and that can be for both cars and yacht restoration on the island of Phuket. And I mean, and anyone in Thailand can reach out to you at that level as well. And what about for Hugo Hub? Where can they find that? How can people get in contact?
Okay, so Hugo Hub is through my wife, Kauta Kristen Hattingh, and then there's Jenna Suwanmani.
But I think we'll keep it simple. And the Instagram handle at
Instagram handle, it's what's it, Hugo Hub Phuket.
something like that.
Yeah, Hugo Hub
At
Phuket.
Hugo Hub Phuket. And that's
Yeah.
in it's pretty much, we'll call it, well, it's Bangtao actually officially then.
Yeah.
Southern, the most southern point of Bangtao.
Yeah.
Very close to Benny's restaurant. We'll give
Benny's, yeah,
give
close to
Benny's a
Benny's.
shout out.
Benny's
There we
Bar and
go.
Grill,
Yeah.
amazing place.
Yeah. Benny's Bar and Grill. It's pretty much right beside there, and right around the corner from Sutai, which was Nando was
One of the
here other day.
best steaks of Phuket.
Hey. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's. I'm sure you'll be back on. We'll have a couple more coffees and chat it out. But we'll
has
wrap it
been
up
fun.
from there. We usually get to about an hour and a half.
This
and then
has
I get
been fun,
thirsty.
man. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
I'll
Appreciate
do
it.
our final plug. Guys, buy my product. It's fucking awesome. This one is chaga. It's for your skin health and digestive system. It's also for immunity. Technically, this stuff, it used to be to cure cancer, but we can't talk about that too much. We'll be launching products in maybe July, August. It's pretty much the best mushroom product in the world, no matter what you say or what you research. So buy it, love it, enjoy it. Find us at Fruiting Body Mushrooms on Instagram, and we're also working with at Muay Thai Mushrooms. Lots of videos, lots of stuff coming out on our podcast and our YouTube handles. Fruiting Body, we're interviewing people at Phuket, and we'll talk to Hugo a bit later. We'll probably do a video podcast or a video vlog, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and come by Hugo Hub and maybe even his restoration places. Okay, that's the end of episode 5 with Hugo Hattingh, or Triple H, you can call him that, whatever you want. And see you next time. Thanks, Hugo.
Thank you.
Thanks,
thank you,
brother.
guys.
Appreciate it.
That was amazing.